Hiya. We had our Indian cooking class yesterday, which was a lot of fun, and everyone who went along, wasn't a huge crowd, but everyone who went along felt they got value out of it and they learned things. So that's brilliant. But one of the things that I've noticed that people were not aware of with the TM6 is how you can use the three little dots that are towards the right-hand side of the screen. So I thought I'd just show you that tonight. So if we have a look at this TM6, hopefully you can see this all right. Oh, I need to get into recipe first, otherwise there's going to be no dots. So I'm just going to go into here, my week. I just put this recipe in actually as an example for you. So if you're making this recipe, we start 600 grams of water, insert the simmering basket, 150 grams of broccoli, we've got all that there, 1 garlic clove, place the varoma in position, and oh, it's actually got the scales. I didn't think it had the scales. Anyway, what I was going to show you was sometimes in recipes, it'll say 180 grams of onion, but it won't actually put the scales up. So what I'm going to show you is where you can find the scales. So obviously it wasn't the best example, but it didn't look like it was going to have it when I was looking on Cookie-Doo. So if I wanted to add the scales, just to the left of the next sign, there are 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots and it gives me these options. Top one is a preview. So I can step through when it's doing something and see what's happening next. Recipe detail. This is a really good one. So recipe detail, you can also, if you don't want a preview, you can come into the recipe, you can have a look. You might want to, then you can see what ingredients you need to get out, because I don't get all my ingredients out to begin with, apart from if I'm at a cooking class or doing something for you guys. You can read the tips, and then you might go, actually, you know, I was up to, I had my fish, you know, I've done the first bit, so now I'm going to click in here. So you can go back to where you were there in the recipe, or that way, or you can just go continue. Okay, but if I just come back to this recipe detail, some recipes you may decide, right, I'm going to skip a step. You can do that in here. So you scroll down to wherever you want to start and you click on that. Okay. All right, so that's that. Let's go back. Other things in these dots. We've got the scales. So here we are. It actually says 180 grams of onion or 150 grams of onion, but it doesn't bring the scales up. This is where you find them. And to get out of them and back into the recipe, click on that cross. And sometimes you might be towards the end of a recipe and you don't need to follow the last few steps. So, you know, occasionally with a cake or something, I'll make the cake, but I don't want to do the icing. So you can cancel the recipe. Do you want to cancel the current recipe? Yes. And it takes you right out of there. Okay. So I'll just quickly show you a preview. So go into my week again, back to this recipe, start cooking. So I go next, insert the simmering basket, next. Now I can go into preview mode. Whoops, it says open preview. Okay, so open preview. Can you see I've got a little symbol here? This is the step I'm actually up to, but what I can do is I can step through. So I can go next. This is what's going to happen coming up. It tells me about my ingredients and so on. So I can keep stepping through there. Say it's on this and I want to know what's going to happen after that. First got to see me. Whoops. I just go, okay, set varoma aside. I'm going to take the simmering basket out. This is a delicious recipe too, by the way, and so on. And so I know what's coming up, but to get back to where I was and what's actually happening in the recipe, I just click on this number 3 and it takes me right back there. Okay, so I trust that was helpful, and please, I think our next cooking class well, judging on the number of people who don't use their Varoma, it may well be Varoma, and that is going to be on the 12th of October down at Hyatt Bowls Club. Worth a drive, just saying. And that recipe that I love, steamed salmon with broccoli pesto, delicious. Have a good night.